Hi, my name is Sarah Thomas, and today I'm going to be talking about milkweed distribution and its importance. To first touch on one of the main parts, we need to talk about why monarch butterflies are beneficial to society and the impact they make in order to justify investing in their main food source, which is milkweed. So, monarchs play a huge role in the tropical rainforest by pollinating flowers as well as serving as a source of food for other animals. And without the monarch, the food chain would collapse and in turn would cause a massive population decrease in the ecosystem as we know it. So, another vital point that we need to touch on is what is milkweed. So, milkweed is a herbaceous American plant with milky sap, and it is the only food source for monarch larvae. One of the main advantages that it has is that once a monarch butterfly ingests this, they become poisonous and are able to escape the wrath of their predators. And earlier I mentioned that monarchs serve as a food source for other animals, but you might be asking, how can that be true if they become poisonous? Even though milkweed is poisonous, some animals such as mice and birds are immune to this poison and therefore are able to eat it. So the monarch butterflies will be serving as a food source to the animals that are immune to the poison. And there are over 100 species of milkweeds that exist in North America, but there are only 4 important ones when it comes to monarch butterflies. And so I'm going to be elaborating on that later, but the most critical point concerning this milkweed is that it is essential and crucial to the survival of these monarch butterflies as it is the single plant that provides food source for their larvae. So the first type of milkweed is the common milkweed, also known as the Asclepias syriaca, and it's native to eastern North America. It's a perennial, and these get pretty tall, ranging from 4 to 6 feet. They have a sweet fragrance, and they bloom early to midsummer. And in order to survive, they need full sun to part shade, so they're easily adaptable and don't necessarily need a lot of sun or a lot of shade to survive, which makes it very versatile. The next one is the butterfly milkweed, also known as the Asclepias tuberosa, and this one is common in the prairies and the grasslands of the Midwest and the Great Plains. This is again a perennial, and it's slightly smaller, ranging from 1 to 2 feet, and this one needs sunlight, and because of this need for sunlight, they are drought tolerant, meaning that they can absorb the sunlight without dehydrating necessarily, because they have characteristics in them that make them immune to a smaller source of water. The next one is a swamp milkweed, also known as the Asclepias incarnata. This one is native in northeastern and southeastern United States. It's again a perennial, and it grows between 4 to 5 feet, and it needs sun. It's low maintenance, and it also needs a lot of water and rich, moist soil in order to survive. And the last one is the antelope horns milkweed, also known as the Asclepias asperula. It is located in the southwestern United States and northern Mexico, so it is a little bit more south than the other ones. And these ones are slightly smaller, ranging from 8 inches to about 2 feet. It is again a perennial. It needs sunlight. It's very easily maintained and hardly ever needs water like its other counterparts, and it can survive in a dry climate with rocky terrain. So we touched on it a little bit before, but the importance of milkweed is that it's an important nectar source for bees and other insects, aka the monarch butterfly. It also serves as a host plant for the butterfly, and it is the only plant that monarch butterfly larvae can consume. But because of the decrease in milkweed, the monarch population has dropped 90% in the last decade. And as you can see, this has been detrimental to society because it has not been able to fulfill its role of pollinating other plants and serving as a food source for mice and birds, and therefore there's been a little bit of an off balance in the ecosystem. So one of the roles is it's easily pollinated, and instead of having individual grains of pollen like most plants, the milkweed contains tiny pairs of wax-like sacs which store the pollen inside them. Each sac will attach to a pollinator before being carried off to another for cross-pollination. So even though the butterflies greatly benefit from the milkweed, there are other species such as flies, bees, beetles, and aphids that also pollinate milkweed and spread it to other plants in order to cross-pollinate. So the main question is, is milkweed the key to solving the decline of monarch butterflies? And so the answer is yes and no. No, it is not the only factor in the decline of the monarch butterfly, but it is a factor that can help revamp the population of the monarch butterfly. And the reason why milkweed is so greatly declining is the fact that it is being replaced by genetically modified crops, and so they're getting planted less and less, meaning the butterflies are not benefiting from its qualities and therefore are dying off. So the factors contributing to the decline of the monarch butterfly, other than, the decline of milkweed, would be number one, human interaction. And this is just from day-to-day activities by humans. Like, research in Illinois shows that 2 million butterflies were killed by cars during their migration south. So monarch butterflies complete a migration cycle like a lot of other animals do, such as birds. And they have been known to kind of fly lower to where they have been hit by cars, and 2 million of them have suffered from this casualty. And obviously it's a big issue if 2 million butterflies have died. Number two is the lack of resources. So monarch butterflies lay their eggs on fir trees during the southern portion of their migratory cycle, and there has been a sharp decline in the number of fir trees in this region over the past 20 years, and the number of flowers has also led to the decline of monarchs because these butterflies rely on the flower nature to make it all the way to Mexico. And no flowers means no nectar to fuel the butterflies on their gruesome and tiring journey. So if there's nothing for them to eat, then there's no fuel for them in order to complete their tiresome journey. So as they're making the journey, they kind of run out of fuel, and since they have no way of refilling, they are just forced to kind of die or become very weak and then eventually pass on. And the third one is the evolving landscapes. So in order to safely navigate, the monarch requires that their paths be free of obstruction and dangerous objects. So these monarchs make stops along the way, and the lack of mountains and trees for them to, sit on or rest on, which is declining because of urbanization and human activities, has led to more difficult journey and in turn more monarch deaths. So can monarchs still help, or can milkweed still help the monarchs? Is there even a point in us, planting milkweed? And as I said before, monarchs cannot live without milkweed, and milkweed is crucial in the growth and development of these monarch caterpillars as well as the production of eggs. So even though it is not the only thing that can help them, it is a huge step in the right direction and can help us revamp the population of monarchs. So there are a lot of ways to distribute these milkweed plants. So the first way that businesses can participate in distributing it is by selling the milkweed by seeds. So you would plant these seeds in the fall for natural cold stratification, and you can also grow them indoors. So it's a very versatile plant that doesn't necessarily need to be planted outdoors or inside. You can kind of do both. But in order to be done inside, you will need to artificially put the seeds under cold stratification by putting the milkweed seeds in a damp paper towel inside a zipper bag and place it in the refrigerator for 3 to 6 weeks. And then you would complete the rest of the process, which includes planting 2 to 4 inch pea pods with 3 to 4 cup with it 3/4 full of soil. There needs to be moderate water with proper drainage. It needs to be placed near a sunny window. And then you would transport the milkweed seeds outside when it is no longer than 3 inches tall. And these are pretty inexpensive, and they sell for about $5 per pack. So you can actually obtain a pretty good profit margin by investing in the milkweed this way and then selling it, because it has a low purchase price, so you can buy it for $5 and then essentially do a markup, which can bring it up like a market price around $10, which gives you a really good profit margin and makes it more enticing for businesses to invest in. So another way you can distribute them is buying milkweed that's already potted, and this is done like you would go to H-E-B or Home Depot, and you can buy other plants that are like partially planted and then take it back home and plant it in your own garden. Likewise, with this milkweed, you can do the same thing. And these typically sell for about $10 to $20. So again, if the company is willing to purchase a pack of these seeds for $5, they're able to do the process and then mark up the purchase price or the market price to about $10 to $20, again, giving you a really, really nice profit margin and bolstering your sales and kind of just like offsetting the work and the price that is being invested into planting these seeds. But again, the compensation received through the profit margin should be justification enough. And these distributors include Walmart, Amazon, American Meadows, and Eden Brothers. So there are possible partnership opportunities with these other big companies that would allow you to distribute the milkweed appropriately. And this could lead to a lot of benefits due to this partnership and this increased connectivity between a smaller business, like let's say here in College Station, and then a bigger business like Walmart. And in conclusion, milkweed is vital to our society. It is vital in reinstating the nature of the monarch population, and it's very, very feasible, as I have, talked about before, with the high profit margins, the seeds, the planting partially. It's a lot of benefits coming off of this, and then looking from it from a business point of view provides a lot of benefits, because now in society, a lot of businesses benefit off of charitable causes and marketing, and not only are we actually making a tangible difference in the society and the ecosystem around us, but we're able to kind of claim that we have actually made a difference, like we have tangibly, physically done something. And as a business, that's a lot of good publicity and a lot of good marketing that can be utilized to bolster the business and increase sales and kind of like shine their public image and their name in a good light. And it is very readily available, and all you have to do is help distribute. So it's not a lot of work that you're taking on, but the benefits that you would receive both financially and through the environmentally are so worth it. So I hope that I have convinced you to look into investing in milkweed due to its benefits, and then how the benefits greatly outweigh the costs and the potential business advantages that milkweed distribution can bring you. Thank you very much.